Woo! What's up, everyone? I know, impromptu. I've been doing a lot of impromptus this week. Might as well kick out some content when I got the energy and time to do it. Now, my synopsis of last night or early this morning. I'm gonna say this, small fry. Don't come for the undefeated of the East. This is about basically when homeboy tried to debate me this morning or late last night, early this morning. And this lets you know people don't know shit. They really don't. They want to come with their emotions. They want to overtalk you. And yes, I'm talking about John. John, you're a great, fantastic comic book artist, but when it comes to politics, when it comes to logical thinking, you are severely lacking, my dude. I'm sorry. It's getting sadder out here when you look at these guys, and for some odd reason, there's nothing but a bunch of emotional recourse. You don't even have enough intelligence to come with disinformation. It's just so missing disgenuous that it's not even funny. First and foremost, when you're making a hard shift in anything in life, there's going to be some bumps in the road. Let's be open and honest about it. There are some things that come easy, like in this economy, and there's some things that are not. Well, you telling me you happy with Trump doing? You didn't say a goddamn thing what Biden's administration was fucking up the economy. What's up, Bucket? It's like my man, the undefeated of the East say, don't step to me, small fry. Do not step to me, small fry. It is not cute. It was so bad that it was so wrong. BGS had to hop on to save this nigga. I said, nah. You actually saved him because he was looking pretty fucking idiotic. I try to give niggas grace, okay? I don't try to take your heads off like the Highlander at first. You were there, All Star G. It was embarrassing for him. He wanted to overtalk. He wanted to talk for 20 fucking straight minutes with a question that could be asked in 15 seconds or less. He didn't know what the fuck he was talking about. He didn't know all this shit. We talked about subjects that are new to him 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years ago. Okay? There are so many times I have to tell a lot of motherfuckers, a lot of people who want to debate me, Have you ever noticed that's the first debate I had in about 2-3 years? I've been on other people's platforms debating two people back to back, and they lose critically. Foundationally, it was horrific. I want people to know why this space is feared. I want people to know why when you come into this space, it gets brutal. Nobody wants to say, "Hey, these guys are legit." Nobody wants to say, "Hey, the information you guys provide is legitimate." Nobody wants to say, "Oh, you just believe Trump. Trump gonna solve it all." Who gives a fuck? Who gives a flying fuck? Exactly, Namer. The last debate I had, the dude exposed himself for the simp he was. It gets ugly in these streets, man. See, this is the reason why you got to give jackasses the time of day. Some people should never get in the ring with the champ. Some people should never get. My coach used to tell me in wrestling, you proved to that dude that he should have never stepped on that mat with you. You showed him the reason why there's a difference between you and him. You show him the difference between why God blessed one of you and God cursed the other. Yeah, it was bad. It was bad. It was bad. What's up, Snowman? It was bad. He said your job as an officer has definitely given you the tolerance for people these days. Sometimes it gives me tolerance. Sometimes I will strike you like a cobra. Yeah. Like, you know what amazes people? How much shit doesn't get to me? And it's like, really? Is that all you got? My parents called me worse. And this is the fundamental flaw of a lot of people here. The fundamental flaw is this: you start with emotion, you're going to end that way. Yes, you have a lot of motherfuckers who are taking money out of the country. You can only tax illegal immigrants so much so far. That's one of the biggest problems. If they're taking all their resources and putting it outside of the country, we're not benefiting as a whole. You can only get so much taxes out of what? Food, gas. But if they don't pay the taxes from income, which is the biggest taxpayer, we're getting fucked. And then people don't really want to talk about the truth. Every poor person who comes to this country as an immigrant, guess who they compete against first? The lowest on the totem pole. And the lowest on the totem pole are who? Black people. So if you start a cleaning business and they start a cleaning business, guess who they competing against? And guess who most likely is going to get that job? Here's another thing I didn't even bring up. Obama's more conservative than Trump. His first, Obama's first term was fucking conservative as hell. A lot of them are. Shout out to Art New Style because he actually is contrary to that statement. Thank God he is. Probably because he's an educator first and an artist second, but he's also a formal educator as well, classically trained educator. And remittance, sometimes I beat him into submission. Sometimes I beat him into absolute obsolescence. Oh yeah, you know they are. You know they are. Here's the craziness about this morning's the so-called debate. I asked months ago. He was working, did this, did that. Dude was so emotional when I tried to get him a chance to put on his artwork. I don't have anything. I said, dude, why don't you actually put your artwork together? At least your email, you can do custom art. Can never say I don't try to put a brother on. The fundamental fact that you didn't even realize why the war in Ukraine was started already showed me that you just listen and not investigate. That means you're part of the mass that they could get away with saying any shitty thing towards. Hey, you're welcome. You're welcome. I'm not trying to be the angel of death unless I need to be. I'm not trying to be the god of war unless I need to be. But I've noticed that black men in the community are lacking some integrity, some fortitude, and clearly some knowledge. This is getting old. Fucking Cynthia G could not fucking fox me. Who the fuck are you? I'll wait. What's up, LAPD SWAT one? I listened to the entire stream, waited till late to comment. Beyond shocking. We must end the influence of the pale lib and F the soymen and the illogical BF libs. Uh, you know what the funniest part about it is? In warfare, there's something you have to know. Never interrupt an idiot or an enemy making a mistake. These idiots are their own downfall. And they act like they don't understand it. They act like they don't know it. Each time we show them the error of their ways, the more power we possess. A lion doesn't need to roar to know he's king, but that lion has to stay thorough. And ultimately, what we found out is that a lot of these people don't know shit. So you don't really have to worry about them. The only trouble they really can cause is the idiots who actually believe their followings. And if you're dumb enough to follow somebody that illogical, you weren't worth saving in the first place. You never interrupt the idiots making a mistake. This is another thing that I think kind of irritated me a little bit. If you want to debate, you have to give a recourse, you have to give the other person a chance to speak. Don't overtalk. Because the more you talk, the less concise you're going to be. But I think people overspeak or overtalk because they're afraid that their lack of knowledge is going to be exposed. And they don't live by the edict, it's rather be thought of a fool than to open your mouth and remove all doubt, which he removes all doubt. So I'm still wondering. I'm still wondering what's going to happen for this guy. The shamefulness of it is that you ask me a question, but you keep on speaking through it. Well, I'm not finished. Get to it, dude. I'm not finished. I want to ask you a question. I'm supposed to remember all 15 minutes of you speaking. You have no type of etiquette. You have no type of solace. You have no fucking grounded information. And yes, All Star G, they sound so feminine minded. He spoke like this is how I know your dad was not the heaviest influence in your life. And then you did the most bitch ass thing get off the panel. Then you got off the panel and start talking in the chat when you could have brought your ass back up. Let me be honest. When before BGS got up there, you actually were boring me. You actually were boring me. And it's so sad. So sad. Well, that's arrogant to say, Charles. Well, sometimes shit's gonna be a little bit arrogant. What's up, Country Boy 87? Namer. Everybody's messaging me now. Two Trip, what's up? Good God, am I famous now? Ray, what's up? Who else I didn't speak to? Shoot. I wonder how BGS does this shit with the level of people in his chat. Bucket, what's up? The reason why they're so female minded is because these are the soldiers of the gynocentric army. The gynocratic army, man. You got to remember this. These are the same people on your job and your places of worship, your families. I tell you, this is funny. It's about as funny as when women tell you that I'm abstinent. I'm 40 years old and I'm not having sex. I'm searching for my soulmate. You are 20 years too late, Missy. Jay Moore, what's up? I'm getting sick of this shit on a high level, but a part of me actually likes it. A part of me actually enjoys this shit. Next time he's on, ask him a baseline question. 1 + 1 equal, and we'll see if his brain cells are working. Oh boy. If I didn't think it was entertaining to you guys, I would have never done it. But sometimes I forget that a lot of my new subscribers never seen or never heard me go one on one with people. So once in a while, I have to step out dusty old MMA gloves, get the skills together, and show people where I made my bricks of building my castle on. And really, I think that I've always said this to BGS. Before anybody debates you, I think they should go through the gauntlet. Like, you don't go automatically to face M. Bison on Street Fighter 2. You got to go through the kegs, the three kegs. Nobody wants to talk about that. Everybody thinks they can jump up. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I don't even think half the people, a third, I don't think 99% of the people BGS has on his channel should debate him. I don't even think those guys should debate me. I think some people are just loosely pathetic trying to build their channels. Even when you have the soy boys or the disrupting white boys, I think a lot of them try to come over here to get some numbers, to recruit some people, and it's not working. Well, you think you know so much. I don't need to know so much. I just think that you don't know enough. And it fucking shows. That's messed up. Well, life's messed up, kid. Well, you about to go ham on one of our favorite YouTubers, whoever the YouTuber is, because I don't even know. I really want to know, as a man, when did we stop using logic first? I think a lot of niggas need to actually take themselves and go to a goddamn boot camp of some sort, men's only, and literally, and I mean literally, learn how to be around men. Learn how men conduct themselves. Learn how men have some valor, some honor, some dignity. I think that men should actually do that. It's no different than watching a pop the balloon show and you got a obviously 300-pound plus woman talk about a man who's 53 and talk about how old he looks. But when a fitness instructor pops his balloon and say, I'm into my fitness and obviously she's not, it's great for you to criticize, but it's not for you to take any criticism. That's the type of reactionary bullshit we have today. Don't forget to hit the cash app, but definitely hit the like button. A lot of times, people forget the contributions of a lot of content creators in this space. You had people from all these different backgrounds banding together, like the Justice League of the Avengers. Interesting. I think that about Anton. I think that about Anton. Anton got a lot of smoke for black people, but he don't say nothing to the white folks. And I called out, how many years was it when I called out Anton Namer? I called him out for the bullshitter he was. See, a guy like me called out a lot of people for the bullshit they were. Yeah, we do need Bushido, an honor system, a code. We need to have the Zulu code. You need to have discipline. This is the reason why little boys at the age of 10 to 12 were taken away from their mothers and put with the men. How many times was I right about people like him? You got all the smoke for black folks, but when it comes to the goddamn white supremacists, when they talked about black fatigue, he goes right along with that bullshit. The biggest coon is the guys who will never check a white man. The biggest coon will never check a white man. You might as well tell us who the fuck it is. but I'm probably figuring out that who it might be. See, this is the reason why places like the military was important, especially for single mother raised sons. You had to find some honor, some dignity. You had to prove yourself among men. You had to resist the temptation of just pussy all the goddamn time. All Star G said, in order to course correct the black community, boys need to be with their fathers or father figures at the age of 7, no later, non-negotiable. Facts. There's a reason why my son isn't hanging on the goddamn corner. See, I'm one of those people who do not speak in theory, I speak in practice. This is why it is so difficult to pull a fast one on me. I can literally overcome the weakness of the average black man, which is ignorance and pussy. Most niggas do not want to live outside their ignorance because it's fun. I do not like being around constant underachievers. When my boy gets a new car, new job, or promotion, starts a business, I'm elated for them. Probably somewhat more than they are for themselves. That's brotherhood. That's camaraderie. But we got the system of the living of hatred. Yeah, Ray's a part of that. I think that was one of my most interesting shows in a minute. Even though salute to ABM, I think those chronicles, that first or second chronicles, and we were putting down the rules. I think that was fire. But when I was late, when ABM and myself were putting down them rules, How many niggas were writing it down? What's up, Joshy? You missed that debate last night. It was brutal, and not for me. Call an ambulance. Not for me. Fundamentally, men have to start being men and stop asking permission to be men. This is the fucked up part about it. You only see masculinity through feminist eyes, not even female, feminist eyes. I can't be toxic. I gotta be understanding. Have you ever noticed the understanding men don't get the pussy? Have you ever understood that the jackasses get to reproduce? But the beta male simps, and I can't even call some motherfuckers beta, they're more like zeta. You get stuck with raising another man's child and taking on their responsibilities when they're out playing Johnny Appleseed with 30 other bitches. Namer said, one of my father's greatest moments is when my younger, I guess your younger self, your younger brother and I left for boot camp, and I'm not even American. Facts, because this shit predates America by hundreds of thousands of years. This shit predates America by hundreds of thousands of years. I appreciate you all, Star G. Because those keys were something you could pass down to your son, your grandson, your nephew, your male cousins, the boys on the street that you meet. That's masculinity. Masculinity is not afraid of change of situation, change of environment, change of circumstance, change of employment. Shout out to Josh and his older brother Terrell. When the department fucked them over, guess what? They made businesses. When the department fucked them over, they made businesses. In the words of John Hagee, problem, promise, provision. How you look at your problem determines how long you stay in it and what happens afterwards. If Josh and Terrell looked at their problem as all consuming, they would still be they would be living on a goddamn street corner somewhere instead of flourishing. When he needs a couple of dollars, he'll Uber. They'll take their trucking business and they're down in goddamn South Carolina somewhere making money. Making about $1,000 a day some days. It's not about you getting knocked down. It's about the ability of getting the fuck back up. If you don't have that ability to endure, that perseverance, because let me get back on that real quick. Women don't have strength because that's a masculine characteristic. Women have endurance because everything about a woman is supposed to be enduring. Her love is supposed to be enduring. Her cooking is supposed to be enduring. Childbirth and labor is supposed to be enduring. So when we look at strength, that's a masculine characteristic off the break. Why do I have zero people? That's interesting. That's interesting, YouTube. I like that. That's interesting. How my screen gets fucked over. Now we're back here. See, this is the shadow ban shit. What's up, Edric? This is that shadow ban shit that people talk about. That'll cut some of my people off and on. I need to. Which broadcast do I need to play once a year for a training video? Oh my goodness. Sometimes I think that people when he gives me, and I think one of the most insulting things he said was the LBJ quote. Like I didn't know who the fuck that who quoted that shit. Oh, you're a lot smarter than you think. I'm a lot smarter than you. That's what it is. I'm sorry. When he was like the most frequent degree that we have is a business degree. I don't, and I would have recall everybody to that part when he asked me, "Oh, I started a business. I know what the fuck how to run a business." Oh yeah, you see the numbers there. I'm not just shadow banned. I'm suppressed. Now everybody sees that shit. You look at my number counts. I think we need to make a petition against this shadow banning shit. How is it a guy got almost 1 million views on one of his shorts, 500K on others, but only 6,000 subscribers and can't pull seven? And this is midday, by the way. I can't do better than 10 people with 6,000 subscribers. Make that shit make sense. Elongo, what's up? I want you to look at the math. We're not doing this late night. This is mid fucking day. This is early afternoon. About to be evening. You're telling me 6,000 plus subscribers, I can't pull? I can't pull 100? I can't pull 50? YouTube is a joke then. YouTube is a fucking joke. That's what this shit is telling me. It's a joke. And I'm glad Trump won that lawsuit. And many more need to go against him. Oh boy. LAPD SWAT said, what to me was the most insulting was when he questioned your planning skills and how about Iraq warning orders and op orders and administration frag orders. People live on the line. I said, dude, that's how you know he doesn't know shit. When he's talking about we suspend voting during war, nigga, you do know I was in a war, right? So did we suspend voting when Bush was up for a second term? No, we didn't. Shit, what's up? Did we suspend it? No. No, we did not. No, we did not. It's one thing if you actually knew what the hell you're talking about, but unfortunately, a lot of people do not. It's actually fucking incredible. I mean, that was a lot of insulting shit that people will say and try to catch you on some sly shit. Catch you on some sly shit. Yep, you're right. You're right, Shen. Chilling, keep making, chilling, man. Keep making with the good content. You be alright. Correct. See, if I was one of those people who was in it just for the money, I'd have been quit. I'd have been quit. But you got to remember, they suppress Jesus Christ. They try to suppress Buddha. They try to suppress Muhammad. They try to suppress Dr. King. They try to suppress, you know, Malcolm X. Not saying I'm in the same league of those people, but if better men than me were suppressed, what can I complain about? Especially if you're telling the truth. Especially if you're helping people improve their lives. What people really don't want to hear to is the truth. That's why it was so easy to debate Fire Dude. So easy. That's why I tell people there's some light work. Some goddamn light work. Here it is questioning my credentials. Nigga, you know my credentials. You should if you paid attention. The funniest thing about it was years ago I was coaching him on how to get custody for his daughter. But some people fall into the gynocentric trappings and lose faith. It's one thing for everybody else to think black men are stupid. It's a whole other thing when a black man believes black men are stupid. Yeah, that's the insulting part. It gets to the point where we become our own worst enemy. We become the seditious traitors. We become the people snitching because we want to be the winners of the rat race, and all it does is make you the number one rat. People don't want to talk about that. You want to win the rat race, you're the number one rat. And yeah, you're right. Anton is one of them. There's a reason why when Charlie Boy tell you about a certain content creator, you need to understand why that statement was made. You need to understand why my point of view is that way towards them. It's not because of hatred, it's because I can smell the phoniness off their ass. I don't care if you make money off this shit. You should, because it's your content and your quality and your effort and your creativity. But I'll definitely say this. Would I trust him? Fuck no. He'll sell you out to those white men. You agreeing with black fatigue? See, this is this revisionist history when it was nothing but white fatigue for everybody in this country. Did black people banish a whole bunch of Native Americans off their land? Did white people undermine the Chinese and the fucking Irish? Did they beat them up? Did they discriminate against the Italians? Did black people enslave a group of people and then when they get them to the country, they said they're not even people anymore, they're property? Oh, we forget history very well. Did black people launch a nuclear weapon in anger at an act of war? Let's talk about the fatigue. Let's talk about the so-called fatigue. Let's talk about this fatigue, my friends. Did black people, because of their racist ideology, not hire other people that cost the country $50 billion a year for not hiring them? Let's talk about this. But we got black fatigue, okay? Nigga, please. Nigga, please. We got black fatigue, right? Did black people commit atrocities against the so-called chosen people? Did black people commit atrocities against the Palestinians? Black people are the rendition of the Incredible Hulk. The only thing he wants is to be left the fuck alone. You literally would rather lose $50 billion a year as a country than to hire black men. But we talk about some goddamn black fatigue, Anton. See, a lot of people hate off of jealous. I don't care how much I'm mad. I could be flat broke, but I have my dignity. I'm not here trying to show all this expensive shit, trying to go on fancy trips. Sometimes I don't want to go anywhere. Places I like to go, I'd rather sit in a cigar lounge with some fine liquor, a fine cigar, and a fine chick on my arm, or maybe two. We don't want to talk about that shit, do we? Like black men traveling is a new thing. Please. Black men are probably some of the original passport bros, thanks to the military. But yet we got fatigue of ourselves. We're agreeing with the people who gave everybody else hell in this country. We're agreeing with everybody else who give us hell in this country that they're fatigue of us. So what is it? When black people when black people literally have any angst, we're supposed to take it in stride. We're supposed to be kumbaya. We're not supposed to be ass kicking. We're not supposed to be defiant. I thought being a fucking maverick was praised in this country. I thought revolution was the founding cornerstone of this country. How is it that we started civil rights, but the LGBT, immigrants, and all these motherfuckers who were scared, hiding in their closets, want to come out and play now when it's safe to do so? You weren't in the fight. You weren't taking the ass whoopings. You weren't giving the ass whoopings. But now you want your fair share of the pie? Fuck you. You try to blame black women? Yes, I blame black women for their part. Yes, I will blame black women for their part. We didn't fucking betray the community. We tried to keep the community together. You left your men. When the history came out, you left your men. You wanted welfare. That's why you try to suppress Dark Ghetto by Dr. Kenneth Clark. And then that's why you tried to suppress the Monahan report. This is the reason why you see it now. 6,000 plus. What's my count for subscribers? 6,000.8.18, 6,100 or 6,018. I don't know. and I can only pull 15, 13 at best. And motherfuckers be like, well, you gotta try harder. I gotta try harder when some motherfuckers are not even don't even have to try at all. Asian people want to talk about Asian hate. But how many times you discriminated against black people? A lot of these Asian folks, let's tell the fucking truth or shame the devil. You don't put your kids in the same schools as the black people who buy up on your products in stores. You send them to the best schools. Does your Jewish landlord help you out? They should, because there were black people who helped your ancestors, who rescued them from those concentration camps. There's a lot of Asian Americans right now who are living good, upper middle class lives or higher because of the black community. Even the Hispanic community. When white people didn't want you living near them, we opened up with arms. Now that black people are getting smarter, no, Chaos, he didn't come back for more. He was a beaten man. He was a beaten man. You already know, Chaos. I have a list. You might need to go into my damn chat and post up the list of more debates that I had. Not. See, I beg to differ when it comes to a lot of this bullshit here that I hear in these streets. What happened when Asians couldn't get in because of those affirmative action quotas? They're not as smart as you think they were, huh? They're not as smart as you thought they were. Even they having trouble getting up to these upper echelon colleges, which I think is funny. A lot of y'all don't understand this shit. People like Anton, I call them out for a reason. That whole fatigue shit, it's not even us. Why is it that we have to be the fatigue? Did we keep people out of basic education, basic housing, basic rights? Do we go out our way to just fuck with people? Yeah, Chicago and Baltimore are eyesores. But here's my shit. Do we talk about the Midwest where they're getting in shootouts with cops all the goddamn time? No, because when you control the media, you control the narrative. You think white people are going to openly tell on themselves? Now it's so blatant because of social media, you just can't help it. Last time I checked, Russia and Ukraine, how many Negroes you see there? How many Negroes you see in Russia and Ukraine? How many Negroes do you see over there in Israel? Well, we got the audacity to talk about black fatigue. We got the audacity to talk about black fatigue, right? Oh, I know there's black Africans there. That's why I use the word carefully, Negro, which is black Americans. Notice I'm very careful with my wording. Oh, I don't deny you there's black Africans there, but Negroes, homegrown American Negro, how many are there? That's why I am. This is the reason why debating me is difficult because I'm careful with my language. That homegrown Negro, is he over there causing shit in Ukraine? But we got fatigue, right? Maybe we're fatigued of everybody else and their bullshit. Maybe we're tired of everybody else's bullshit. Maybe that's it. What you guys think? When do black people get their fatigue? The 14th Amendment was only for black Americans. Hit that like button, hit that cash app, man. Why is it that when black men go out to search who they are, we always get interrupted? See, y'all don't bother the black woman that much because you probably see them as concubines. But that black man, if he gets anything on you, look out. The reparations are spoke of. Oh, why should they get it? You gave everybody else their reparations. Yeah, cut the check. Cut the goddamn check. Give us the land you owe us. Give us the money you owe us because without that money, you wouldn't have been the country, the powerhouse you've been for centuries. Cut the goddamn check. I don't need your presidential apology. I need your money. That is my money, honey. Marshall Plan of 45 to rebuild Europe. Faulkner Plan. I was 25. Rebuild Black America. Why not? Why not? It's more cost effective to give black men jobs than to not give them jobs and lose 50 billion. You fucking idiots. I really think people are just that racist and that idiotic. You can't convince me of nothing else. You got to be an idiot to give up $50 billion not giving 1 million black men jobs. You're a fucking idiot. You're a fucking idiot. I don't give a damn who the president is. You're a fucking idiot if you don't. You're a fucking idiot. I think it's shameful to give up that much money per year that we should have been pumping into our own people. I want you to think about that. You're giving away 50 billion just not to employ black men. But we talk about some goddamn black fatigue. I really think that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. Yeah, it's poor sarcasm. No despair. We got Cory Booker. That weirdo. Cory Booker always looked weird to me, dude. He always looked weird. Black man should have a beard if he's bald. Weird ass dude. You go up there to prolificate for 24 hours to talk about absolutely nothing. How do we keep? How do these people keep getting voted in? Well, that might be true, but you just look like a goddamn. Sometimes it make you look like you going through chemo or some shit. Oh yeah, how the fuck you a senator? But you worth 20 million, 30 million? Somebody look up Cory Booker's net worth real quick. What's Cory Booker's net worth? What's Cory Booker's net worth? He's worth $4 billion. How much does he make as a senator? How much does he make a year as a senator? 15 million. And how much he makes yearly as a senator? That's the good part. How much does he make as a senator every year? And how long has he been a senator? How the fuck can you make 15 million? Where did 15 million come from? How much does he make that? How the fuck did he make 15 million? Nobody wants to talk about that. How did he obtain all that wealth? See, a lot of things the Senate does not want us to do but start an investigation within itself. Hmm. But yet, these motherfuckers, these motherfuckers want to tell us that they come from poor upbringings. We're looking at you, Jasmine Crockett. Hmm. Well, let me get out of here, brother my mouse. Don't forget to hit that cash app, hit the like button. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for supporting. Till next time. Woo! Peace.